it's your turn to...
Oh, is it for me?
Consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello, and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT.
And I'm Drew.
And we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired. We're going to talk about something that is kind of controversial, but it definitely needs addressing, and it's been addressed. But I'd like to give my point of view on it, my perspective, if you will, my opinions, and then see what you've got there, JT, and kind of compare notes, see where we're at.
Okay. Definitely.
So this topic is going to be more focused on like school shootings. You know, how do they happen? Why do they happen? Are there warning signs? Are they preventable? What do we need to do about, you know, having these weapons in students' hands, and who's responsible? All that kind of stuff. You know, it just recently we had the school shooting there in Mansfield, Texas. You know, and it's just, it seems like every year there's another one, or there's another few, or what have you. But yeah, so I'd like to talk about that and then get your opinion on it as well. And, you know, if anyone out there listening would like to provide their own opinion about it, or fact check us, or whatever, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, email us or get a hold of us on Facebook. All that information's at the end of the show. And we put it at the end of the show so you guys can remember it, and we remember to say it. All right, bud. Well,
all right. Yeah,
let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, school shootings.
Yeah, man, school shootings.
Wasn't it just a couple weeks ago that the one in Arlington happened? Is that the one you were talking about, Mansfield?
Yep, that's the one. If I'm not mistaken, I think they said a couple kids had gotten a fight, and one pulled out a gun, shot 3 students and a teacher or an adult that was there on campus. I don't believe there were any fatalities, but I didn't, just going off the top of my head. You know, one of the things that I wonder when things like this happen are, well, one, how did they procure the weapon, right? But another one is were there red flags? Is it preventable?
Yeah. The individual who committed the crime was 18.
Yeah.
And I know at least here in Texas at 18 you can get a rifle. But I think you have to be 21 to get a handgun.
Yeah, that's correct.
And he used a handgun, didn't he?
I believe so.
So, yeah, where did he get it from?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I've got to do a little bit of research on that to see, you know, did he get it from home? Was it one of his parents, or did he purchase it, or was it a friend's, or who knows what? One of the things a while back, gosh, I don't remember how long ago this has been, but maybe a year or so, a lot of these anti-gun folks were talking about your child takes your weapon from your home and goes and commits one of these crimes, that they should be able to hold the parents accountable and charge them with the crime because it was their weapon. Now, I don't agree with that. Obviously, I think that parents, if you have kids in the house, you know, you definitely need to have your weapons stored in a safe location, hard to get, locked up, whatever.
Yep.
And your kids ought to know too, like, hey, yeah, this is a no-no, for lack of a better term.
It's a nice way to put it, I guess.
Yeah. That's my baby talk. But I don't necessarily think that the parents should be held accountable unless, you know, it was like, hey, here you go, put this in your backpack. I think that child or that young adult, in this case, you know, they know what they're doing. They know right from wrong. And
they should.
They should. And they should also be held accountable for their actions.
Okay, now I'm not going to get too much off topic, but at what age do you feel that a minor should be held accountable for their actions?
Well, I mean, I think at all ages, obviously the severity of the punishment or the accountability depends on the age. You're not going to necessarily send a 10-year-old to prison. That would be pretty interesting, actually. I think, what was that show they had? Scared
the
Straight.
Juvies, with those kids that had attitude problems. They send them to jail.
They'd send them there and try to get them straightened out. But, I don't think that's the right answer. You send a 10, 11-year-old to prison and whatnot. But, there's juvenile detention. There's fines. There's putting them to work. There's all kinds of things. So I think it's going to be a case by case and depending on the severity of the crime committed. But there definitely needs to be accountability, because if they don't know right from wrong, hopefully that accountability would teach them, okay, what I did was not okay.
Well, then let me ask you a question, and this isn't necessarily a school shooting.
Sure.
But you remember that kid? Oh, gosh. I think it was somewhere here in Texas where he was drinking underage, got into an accident, and either killed everybody in the car or just one person or something. And he was on parole. I think that's the right word. He was at home doing his time and found there was a video that showed him drinking in a basement or a room in his parents' house. His parents were letting him drink, and his mom and him fled to Mexico, and his dad was like, well, he doesn't know what he's doing, and the kid was like 16, 17. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that doesn't ring a bell.
I'll have to pull up his name.
But, that's very interesting for sure.
But cases like that where the child is so spoiled or whatnot that the parents didn't teach him anything, now is that the kid's fault or is that the parents' fault?
Well, I'm going to say it's both. And in that scenario, the parents are enabling the child. They're providing the alcohol. The child at that point, who's already gone to court or, seen a judge or whatever to be sentenced with whatever punishment, knows that what he did was wrong and illegal. In that case, drinking and driving, and underage drinking at that. And then to continue to do it, like you've already been told it's wrong and now you're still doing it. Yeah, no, you know what's going on. Now there are exceptions, right? There's mental issues, people that aren't necessarily all there or have illnesses or whatever that impair their judgment or impair their reasoning. But for the average standard Joe kid, I would say no. Yeah, at that point, they know what they're doing, and their parents know what they're doing.
Right. Well, the parents definitely know what they're doing now. I'm not saying that this kid was in the right or wrong. I don't think that actually he was in the wrong. So he's the affluenza teen was his nickname. His name was Ethan Couch or Cooch.
Huh.
It was back in wasn't that long ago. 2013, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, that was a big old thing on the news and everything. He killed four people in a car crash. So I'll have to read up more on it, but yeah. But overall, the parents were saying that they never really taught him right from wrong, and that he's an angel and he doesn't do anything bad and blah blah blah. And the kid was just, oh, I didn't know that was bad. Even after he had, the judge had told him drinking underage is illegal. You can't do this. So the judge pretty much just threw the book at him and was like, nope, you're going to life. If I remember that correctly.
Well, you remember the the Menendez brothers?
No.
Yeah, so that was a hot one. They had, I don't remember if it was shotguns or what, but they came into their own home. Their parents were in the living room watching TV, and they shot the crap out of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. They claimed later on, different things about their parents and yada yada. But at the time, one of them was 21 and the other one was 18.
So just throw their life away.
Yep. But it's one of those things, though, again, their age. One of them is, they're both adults at that point in the eyes of the law, right? 18 and 21.
Yeah.
But you have cases where even kids that are younger than that commit similar crimes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah,
what do you do?
Like the elementary kid or the middle school kid out in, what was that, Sandy Lake or Sandy something, and then Washington State.
Yeah. Sandy Hook, I think.
Sandy Hook. That's terrible. Was that that wasn't a high schooler. That was like a middle schooler. It was like a young kid, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Let me
see. It was his grandma's gun is the one he got.
Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting.
Yeah, but who did the shooting? That was the
Connecticut, United States, when 20-year-old.
Oh, it was a 20-year-old. So, obviously a problem. People need to secure their weapons. I also get it to where, you have one, let's say you have your one loaded pistol or whatever for your home defense, and it's in your night table or under your pillow. I've heard a lot of people keep it in different places.
Sure.
But, what do you do at that point, especially if you have kids? I can tell you what I do, but I want to hear what you would do.
Well, I think a big part of it is education. I think a lot of times what you don't know gets you in trouble. So if parents choose to have guns in their homes, whether it be handguns, rifles, whatever caliber, doesn't matter, BB gun even, pellet gun, education is key. I think you need to teach them the weapon safety, the rules, how to handle the weapons, how to clear the weapons, how to basically make the weapon not something that's scary, but also they will gain the confidence in how to handle it if they ever needed to. But that way they also know the importance and the dangers and everything that goes along with it. I think when we see these cool movies and, they're actiony and this person's shooting and, this looks really cool. And, the perception is out there, but they don't realize the dangers and everything else that comes along with it. So yeah, I personally, I think education is key. People are still going to do what they're going to do. The kid can take that in one ear and out the other and say, okay, well, forget that. I'm still going to go shoot up a building or whatever.
Yeah.
But at that point, I think, as the parent, hopefully you'd be able to say, well, we did everything we could. We just have a crazy kid or what have you. That's the long version of my answer, I think.
I agree with you as far as education. Having them know how to, like you said, clear it. Main thing is, so, I have kids and I have guns, and my kids know how to use a weapon. I've started them out on a BB gun and a pellet gun, but I made it serious enough to let them know, hey, you never point this thing at anybody, unless you're willing to take their life. You never point this at anybody. It's always downrange. It's always the target you're trying to shoot at. And we'd set up little targets in the yard or whatever, and when they got comfortable and whatnot, we started doing who can hit this and who can hit that one. Again, make it fun. I think the only one that I've let them shoot as far as powder goes is the 22. This is about as far up on that I've let them do it, and let them feel the kick and make sure that they're comfortable with the noise. And because once you get into the powder, it gets loud, and
it gets loud. You get recoil. You get, you're getting that shock factor.
Yeah, and making them comfortable is is the key to it. But every time they pick up a rifle or pick up a whatever gun that I have, let them know that, hey, this thing right here, they can kill you. You know, you've got to be safe with it. You've got to know how to clear it. And I've let my kids clean the guns that I got, the rifles and the shotguns and the everything else that I've got. I've let them clean it. So they know this is how you handle it. This is what this does. This is what that does, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then whenever we can, we'll go out to a range and we'll let them shoot it. And I don't think guns are an evil thing. I don't think kids knowing how to use and break down and clean and put back together and fire a weapon, I don't think that's bad. Just depends on how you teach them and let them know how serious that stuff is.
And people are going to make their own decisions, you know. You can teach them, and what they do with that knowledge is up to them.
Yeah, you know, but my kids don't know the combination to my safe, so, you know.
Well, there you go. Now, do you think that you said something interesting there? You said you don't think that they're necessarily evil, the guns, but do you think in the case of like a school shooting, and say it's a minor, not an adult,
mm-hmm.
do you think that the child is the responsible party, or do you think that, you know, it's the gun's fault, so we need to trace it back to whoever the owner of that gun is?
It's the person pulling the trigger, whether you're a minor or not.
Yeah.
You're making that decision to pull that trigger. I'm not going to sit here and blame video games or blame action movies or blame. I mean, if you have a plan that you want to do, if you have the willingness to do what you think you want to do, and that is either one, stop being bullied, or two, show people that you're not a coward or anything, and you go and you shoot up a school. Whether you're a minor or not, you've made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I have CHL, what do they call now? LTCs?
Yeah, LTC, license to carry.
Yeah, I have a license, and I carry all the time. And when I carry, my weapon is the moment I pull it out of the holster. If I have to use it, it's ready to go. I mean, I don't keep it on safe on my side. So, and I have never had a problem. And I've dropped all of my pistols when it's on fire, when it's ready to go.
Right.
And I've never had any of them just discharge. So it's the person behind the trigger who's got the finger wrapped around it, pulling it. That's
the ultimate safety. That's the ultimate safety. Whether your pistol has a like a thumb safety or anything like that. I mean, finger on the trigger, not safe. Finger off the trigger, safe.
Yeah. Yeah, when I hand my kids a weapon, they know that their finger goes in the rest position.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think the military has helped me learn that, even though, you know, we're chair force and we don't qualify until we deploy. But knowing that knowledge, having that knowledge, has helped me, and then that kind of helps me teach my kids.
Sure.
And my kids know, hey, we don't go into this closet. We don't try to punch in numbers on this, you know, in the safe or anything. If they want to, hey, can we go out and shoot a target? They'll come up and ask me, and I'll say yes or no. If I don't have time to do it, then I don't do it. But if I'm like, man, we're not really doing anything, yeah, let's go out and shoot the pellet gun or shoot the whatever. A couple days ago, was it a couple? It was it was been about a week or two ago. Tells you how redneck I am. We opened up the back door and we shot at a rabbit. My daughter and I we were in the back of the house, back door open in the house, because we both had our pajamas on, shooting a rabbit, trying to get it because it was big, man. I mean, it was
God dang wabbit.
Yeah, I don't think we got it, or if we did, it was a few hours later. Some coyotes came up and dragged something off, but I didn't see what they dragged off. But yeah, they might have gotten it, but I think we hit it. And my daughter's she's a terrific shot.
That's good.
But yeah, we got to teach them right.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, well, okay, let me preface it. I think a lot of times there are warning signs and sometimes there are not warning signs, right? When you're talking about a school shooting.
Right.
Sometimes people aren't always going to wear their emotions on their sleeves so that you can see. They're just going to surprise you. And do you think maybe like making the gun laws stricter or trying to make it harder to purchase guns is the answer?
Okay, now hold on. Are you asking me that should the state or federal government mandate or push stricter gun laws? I'm just going to clarify this. Is that what you're asking me?
Essentially, yes. Well, okay. However they're going to do it, or however they would do it, but to make it harder for you to go out and purchase
as an average Joe to go out, and purchase a firearm. I don't think any stricter gun laws that they could push is going to stop any of this from happening. My personal opinion. I think the gun laws that we have in place right now, I think they need to double down on those. And I know here in the state of Texas, they call the Bureau to do a background check before you even purchase anything. It don't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. I remember even when we were looking at those 22 cowboy guns.
Oh, yeah. Oh, those are nice.
And you express your interest in them and everything. And before they even, put it in a box and, oh, hey, here you go. That'll be however much money. You fill out an application online. They run your background check. I mean, it's extensive, and it's not like hey, this was done in 2 minutes. I just walked in, said I wanted this one, and then I paid for it and left.
Yeah.
I've never had that experience. For some people, their background check, they may not even be able to come back and actually purchase the weapon for several days. And others, you may wait an hour or two or something like that. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. I don't think trying to make it any stricter. I mean, how did the person that committed the crime obtain the weapon in the first place? Some of them, they went out and purchased it. Again, they may not be displaying symptoms or red flags or anything like that. And, they never had any mental issues or whatever. So that's not going to come up, but like these underage or these children that commit these crimes and, go into schools with guns and whatnot, they didn't go and purchase the gun. So how would making the laws any stricter affect them? It might make it harder for their parents to purchase guns and then keep them in the home. But like you had mentioned earlier, where there's a will, there's a way. And so, now it's harder for the kid to get one from their parent because their parent can't get one from the store because it's harder. Okay, well, maybe they have a friend who has a gun. Or a friend's parents or something like that. They're going to get what they are going to get.
Right, and there's always a way to get stuff. I mean, we have some pretty strict, and I'm gonna go off topic for 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
We have pretty strict laws on illegal drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're still here. I'm just saying we have a problem, and we're not calling Houston, because they've got a big problem. But no, I mean it doesn't matter what law you put in place. A new one. I'm not saying the ones that aren't in place aren't good enough. Any new restriction that you have on firearms or anything like that, you not going to stop somebody from doing what they've already planned on doing.
Right.
So you're just not. I don't care who you are.
Well, and like you said, we have pretty strict laws when it comes to drugs, illegal drugs, whether it's buying, selling, producing, whatever. Yet somehow they're still on the streets. People are still making them. People are still purchasing them. People are still smuggling them. People are still selling them. And they're illegal.
Yeah.
So they're committing a crime when they commit any of those actions. So if I'm a criminal or a soon-to-be criminal, I may go out and purchase a gun, or I may, like from a reputable FFL dealer or whatever, or I may find somebody on the street who is selling a gun that I can just buy it from them, or, you know, buy it from their trunk or whatever. Or I may have a friend that has one at their house that I could take or borrow or steal, or there are other options. Criminals are going to be criminals.
Yeah.
Criminals are criminals because they break the law. They're not following the law.
Right. And kids think that's cool.
Well, and how is making it harder for you, who, you know, maybe you're a competition shooter or something, and that's strictly what you do, and you don't break the law. How is making it harder for you to obtain those tools to do your competitions going to affect the criminals? They're still going to get the guns if that's what they're wanting to get.
Yeah. They're still going to get the armor piercing rounds. They're still going to get tracer rounds. They're going to get whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter what you have in place. We need to double down on what we've already got in place.
Well, and I think it was Joe Biden. I don't remember when exactly he said it, before or after he got in office this last go round. But he had mentioned, you know, you don't need an AR-15. You don't need this. You don't need that. You just need a double barrel shotgun. You go out on your porch and you fire it in the air. And, you know, that's your warning shot. And whoever had ill will or intent towards you, that'll scare them away, and you're good to go.
I like Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, O'Rourke.
His whatever. I'm gonna mispronounce his name because I don't like him. But I like his, when he was in the presidential debates, where he was like, heck yeah, we're going to come for your AKs. We're going to come for your ARs. We're going to come.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're going to take your AR-15s.
Yeah. So you're, and I'm trying to not be too loud, you're from Texas, and you're telling the American public that you're going to take away their rifles because it's considered a quote-unquote assault rifle.
Yeah.
Did
you know a couple years ago I put on some weight, and I've been putting on weight and whatnot, but it was because of my assault utensils. My assault fork, my assault spoon, all that. I mean, it's what put the weight on me. I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it forced you to.
Yeah. Just like those assault rifles are committing crimes left and right. They are assaulting people. I had to make sure I locked my case because my rifle almost walked out of it to go commit crimes.
This is a very controversial subject that we're bringing up. And yes. I would, and to anybody listening, I would love a debate to...
Yeah, well, not even necessarily a debate, but a difference of opinion. I want to see
conversation.
I want to see where you're coming from if you disagree with us, and not to be argumentative or not to gotcha or anything like that. I'm open to different perspectives. You know, I want to see your thought process. Why do you feel differently about it? You know, it'd be interesting just to see what folks have to say.
It would be, yeah. Ooh, that's a good subject, man. That's a good.
Unfortunately.
Oh, we're not done. Okay.
unfortunately for us, well, gosh, I don't remember what summer it was. It was a couple years back when we were in that boating accident. And
oh, dude, that was tragic, man. We lost everything.
Yep, all the guns, just bye-bye.
Yeah, and the ammo.
Yeah.
Dude, we lost it all.
It was a small fortune right there.
Yeah, it was. So if anybody can locate that for us, I can't remember what lake it was, but
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. I don't even think we caught anything that day. We just lost everything.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, definitely a controversial topic. Like I said, open to different perspectives. Obviously, you and me are on the same page on this one, and I think that these events are tragic when they happen, and they're definitely uncalled for.
Oh, definitely. And we're not sitting here and we're not trying to belittle anything or take away any. What am I trying to say? Help me out. Come on.
Minimize the severity of the.
Yeah,
of the
exactly. You know, I could never imagine losing my children in something. In any situation, but something like that.
Right.
I mean, you have kids. You want them to grow up and be the adult that you see that's within them, that you're trying to guide and whatnot. And so that way one day they can either bury you in a shoebox or put you in an urn, whatever you want to do. They're supposed to bury you. You are never supposed to bury your children. And I couldn't do it. If I ever had to, they'd have to bury me with them. I couldn't. And I always, when I hear about things like this, I'm always in the kitchen cutting onions when these things are going off.
Yeah, those dang ninjas.
I tell you. It really hits home because...
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody deserves to lose their children, their child.
No. Oh, and you've got school-aged kids,
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, it's always a tragedy. Definitely not trying to minimize it at all. I think that it's unfortunate. I think that the criminal, whether it's underage, adult, whatever, needs to be held accountable for their actions. And I don't necessarily think that if they took the gun from home, that mom and dad should get locked up or anything like that. It's a different story if mom or dad provided the gun to them, hey, here you go, or take this or to school. But I mean, if you've got your stuff in a safe location and they break into it and steal it, I mean, that's like if your kid took the car without you knowing and committed manslaughter. I had no idea that they took the keys and ran off. It was the middle of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's... Unfortunately, it's still going to be a case-by-case scenario, and, where there are warning signs, where they're not, who knows? I think sometimes people try to assign blame when, the criminal is being a criminal. Yeah. There's not always something more to it. Sometimes there is, but I don't know. We could dive deeper and deeper into this thing.
So, good topic, man. I really like that one. That one kind of gets the brain going. As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.